Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Lord of All. My hero has hundreds of millions of supermodels. Chapter 46. The hero target has been changed. You have 60% of Alicia's combat power. Su Xiao's appearance has not changed much, but at this moment, he has obtained the eternal body. As he waved his hand, a steady stream of breeze flowed into his body. You used eternal body to absorb the wind element and gained 100 experience points. Close black lens bracket. You used eternal body to absorb the wind element and gained 100 experience points. Close black lens bracket. Comma. The experience points are constantly rising and rising like crazy. Su Xiao simply jumped into the river. Your use of eternal body absorbed the water element and gained 500 experience points. Close black lens bracket. Your use of eternal body absorbed the water element and gained 500 experience points. Close black lens bracket. Comma. Congratulations on raising your level to level 21. Close black lens bracket. Looking at the river, which had obviously dropped a little, Su Xiao climbed up the bank in a daze. This damn upgrade speed must be cheating. Although it is not as good as killing monsters by leapfrogging, it is better than being safe. As for Alicia, who has 10 times the experience blessing, her upgrade speed is probably as fast as a rocket. After joining the territory, I am afraid that her level will always be the one that reaches the upper limit the fastest. At the same time, Alicia in the Hall of Heroes opened her eyes. Light green eyes looked out the door. Who in this territory has such a high elemental affinity? With doubts, Alicia walked out of the Hall of Heroes. Immediately, her eyes locked on Su Xiao. At this time, Su Xiao waved his hand and the water element left. The wet clothes suddenly became dry. Lord, you. Alicia looked at Su Xiao and hesitated to speak. Knows a thing or two about magic. Su Xiao responded with a smile. Alicia was silent. What the hell do you call this knowing a little bit? Don't you see that the whole world is happy for your existence? Alicia can feel the elements of heaven and earth, and she likes Su Xiao as much as she does. How can this be? She is an eternal elf. Her lord is obviously just a human. Because of your mystery, the hero Alicia's favorability has increased by 5 points. Current favorability, 15. Close black lens bracket. Su Xiao tilted her head. Alicia's favorability is rising, faster than Milta's. But what she showed was not as intimate as Milta's. Well, Milty can't be said to be intimate, she just stayed a little longer and said whatever she wanted. If you are intimate with her, you will naturally feel intimate. Lord, Alicia's green eyes were slightly confused. Are you hungry? Let's go eat, Su Xiao suggested. Okay, Alicia nodded. Under dusk, 3 people sat at a table and enjoyed dinner. Just halfway through eating, Alicia stopped, narrowed her eyes slightly, and lay down on the chair. Is it not to your liking? Su Xiao asked. Through contact with Sylphie, he knew that elves did not like to eat meat. But Alicia has the hungry ghost path in her body, so she shouldn't be so taboo. No, I'm tired. Let's take a rest, Alicia replied. Su Xiao. Milty raised her little head and looked at Alicia. You are so lazy. Thank you, Lord Angel, for the compliment. Alicia smiled. Su Xiao. Yes, this second hero is a lazy dog. You can have a good rest on weekdays, but if the territory encounters a crisis or something, you still have to take action. Su Xiao frowned slightly and said. He didn't want Alicia to develop into some kind of behind-the-scenes boss. Just like some sect ancestor in the novel. He had to wait until everyone was almost dead and the sect was almost wiped out before taking action. If a hero's inaction leads to the death of any territorial citizen, it is a hero's dereliction of duty. Don't worry, Lord. Just sleeping is the second meaning in my life. Alicia half closed her eyes. What about the first meaning? Su Xiao asked. Your safety and the safety of the territory. Alicia opened her legs and said seriously. Hearing Alicia say this, Su Xiao breathed a sigh of relief. This eternal elf is actually not difficult to get along with. I'm just a little lazy, which makes my behavior look a little strange. If she is a stranger who does not know her well, she may reject her and not trust her. However, the Lord has a terminal information panel. Life or death, loyalty, Su Xiao believes in Alicia. Alicia, may I ask, why do you like sleeping so much? Su Xiao asked. If you can lie down, don't sit. If you can sit, don't stand. If you can't move, don't move, Alicia said. What about practicing? Don't you want to become stronger? Su Xiao asked again. You can become stronger just by lying down. What's the point of practicing? Alicia replied. Su Xiao. It seemed that all his worries about mental illness were completely unnecessary. Alicia is just a lazy dog. However, as an elemental mage, she should perform well against tomorrow's monster wave. When mentioning these words about the legal profession, people's first impression is high damage, group attack. With her here, the monster wave results should be even better. What about before? Before you reached this realm, you always had to be busy with something in life, right? Su Xiao's eyes showed curiosity. Well, it was a long time ago. Alicia pondered for a moment and then said, I remember that at that time, the entire Elven Temple was dedicated to me. I only had to lie in bed and sleep, and I didn't have to do anything. Well, it turns out that this lazy habit has been cultivated. Hearing what Alicia said made Su Xiao feel very sleepy. Thinking of myself these days, I haven't slept many nights. Comparing it to Alicia, she seems a little tired from living. Damn it, with the talent of a lord with 9 mythical stars, wouldn't it be a waste if we don't develop the territory properly? Su Xiao shook her head quickly, her thoughts were almost assimilated by Alicia. The charm of this eternal elf is really terrifying. The same sentence, spoken from the mouth of a beautiful woman, is completely different from that spoken by an ugly man. People believe the former more. Then you go to the hero's hall to sleep first. Su Xiao ordered. Okay, Lord. Alicia had been waiting for this sentence for a long time. A beam of teleportation light flashed and the figure disappeared from the chair. This guy has set the bed mark in the Hall of Heroes as the teleportation point for Worldless. She's so weird. Milty glanced at the Hall of Heroes. She didn't understand what the point of sleeping all day could be. Give back the second meaning in life. Well, the first meaning of my life is also the Lord and my territory. Then, what should be the second meaning of her life? Milty tilted her head. Haha, powerful people are a bit unique. Su Xiao said with a smile. What about me? Milty opened her eyes wide, looked at Su Xiao, and pointed at herself with her little finger. You are the incarnation of divinity, the highest of all heavens. Su Xiao reached out and touched Milty's head. Milty smiled sheepishly at the compliment. That night, Su Xiao lay on the big bed, tossing and turning, unable to sleep. The little sleepiness aroused by Alicia before was gone. The monster wave is coming tomorrow. Su Xiao knows very well that this is because of her nervousness, which leads to mental stress and inability to sleep. Yes, how can you not be nervous when your fate is about to change? The monster wave attacks the city. Once the Lord Crystal cannot be defended, it will have no choice but to retreat from the endless world. As a native of Blue Star Kyushu, I can only go back to college. If you are not lucky enough, you may not have time to exit and be torn apart by monsters. Once upon a time, Su Xiao had a plan to execute if he could not hold back the monster tide. Which university should I go to and what major should I study in the future? But now, with the mythical talent and the presence of the mythical hero, he cannot accept failure. Failure is the mother of success. I didn't expect that there would be a day when I couldn't accept failure. Su Xiao laughed to himself. In the past, he was never afraid of failure. Now, I actually feel afraid of failure. However, there is no need to blame yourself too much. Su Xiao clenched her fists. Since he is afraid of failure, wouldn't it be good for him to just win in the future? Su Xiao smiled slightly, her strong self-confidence and ambition shattering her fear of failure. The tension in my heart also dissipated a lot. He opened the campus group chat and looked at the messages that kept flooding the screen. There will be a wave of monsters tomorrow. I can't sleep at all. Brothers, how is your development going? What else can we do? A few arrow towers and a few soldiers. I hope they can block it. What can you stop? Even 100 tigers can't defend you. That's not necessarily the case. I have a wall. By the way, I don't know how Chi Yun's development is going. He has received national attention and received a lot of resource support. At Kian, Brother Yun, let's take a chance. Chi Yun, everyone, my wall has been upgraded to level 10. Damn it, Brother Yun, are you so awesome? With so many resources, why don't you use them to build the Hall of Heroes? Chi Yun, I already have a Hall of Heroes. Quote. Brother Yun is so fierce. Then you have a hero. Chi Yun, I personally got a little chance. Chi Yun, just look forward to tomorrow's Blue Star newcomer Lord ranking list. Chi Yun, the entire Blue Star will know my name, Kingzhou Chi Yun. Brother Yun, what's going on? Please reveal something. Chi Yun, hey, if nothing unexpected happens, I can upgrade to level 2 territory tomorrow, and then take advantage of the monster wave to compete in this year's new Lord Global level rankings. What the hell, level 2 territory? Brother Yun, aren't you going to be among the top 10 in the world? The sound shocks the world. The top player in the world in previous years was probably around level 15. Damn it, whether we can hold on to our territory or not is a question. Brother Yun can actually make it to the top, I'm so envious. The top 10 in the world is a bit difficult. I always feel that this year's new lords are all so strong. Not only Brother Yun, I heard that there are quite a few people in other cities and countries. There are rare military buildings at the beginning, and some people have awakened rare talents. Here, this is called the Year of Destiny. What is the Destiny Year? It has something to do with the luck of the heavens. To put it simply, if you have read the novel, when the protagonist of the novel is born, a bunch of genius monsters will often appear. Oh, then she is the only one who can be the protagonist of our world. Yi Zicho, hers is a legendary military building. Chi Yun looked at the group chat messages and felt slightly unhappy. He was obviously just showing off, so why did he involve Yi Zicho again? Without Su Xiao, Yi Zicho appears again, which is really annoying. Chi Yun, the results of the monster wave tomorrow will determine the position allocation in our Qingzhou First League. I hope you will work hard. Receive, +1 received. Lord Leader, we will work hard. About 1/5 of the new lords from Qingzhou Middle School joined the Qingzhou Alliance formed by Chi Yun. There were nearly 200 people. If you can successfully survive the monster wave siege, you can gain a firm foothold in the endless world. The force composed of so many lords should not be underestimated. If they wait until one day in the future, they can obtain the territory relocation order and gather together in the endless world, they will definitely become one of the top powers in Kyushu Kingdom. Territory relocation orders are something that many power lords dream of. Su Xiao looked at the group chat messages for a while and felt that they were not nutritious. Gradually, a feeling of sleepiness came over me. The fatigue caused by these busy days suddenly came to my heart. Su Xiao gradually relaxed and fell asleep. The sun shines through the layers of fog of war and falls on the land of the endless world. Today is the 7th day that the 52nd newcomer Lord of Blue Star has arrived in the endless world. It was also the day they welcomed the wave of monsters. Today, the invincible protection of the Lord Crystal will completely disappear. Once the Lord Crystal is breached, life and death will disappear. Han Chuang has been studying hard for more than 10 years. On this line of life and death, the further you can walk, the higher your achievements will be. This line goes straight to the sky and reaches the gods. You have the chance to give up halfway, but if you fail, you will fall into hell. The territory crystal protection status has been lifted. Close black lens bracket. The monster wave is about to begin, please be prepared for defense. Close black lens bracket. The farmers have all hid in their cellars, closing their eyes and praying. Once the Lord Crystal is breached, they will also become the monster's meal. On the southern city wall, 10 elven marksmen who had reached level 10 looked into the distance. On the west wall, there was a beautiful blonde elf, yawning and looking at the sky with dull eyes. On the north wall, a little blonde girl was sitting on the edge of the wall, dangling her little feet. On the east wall, Su Xiao clenched his fists and looked deeply into the fog of war in the distance. Monsters are about to emerge from the fog of war. His territorial power is divided into 4 directions to protect the territory. Among them, the legendary elf marksman from the south is the weakest. However, the south is far away from the Lord Crystal. If they show signs of being unable to defend themselves, Alicia, who has set up a teleport point, can support them at any time. The rules for monster waves are as follows. Endless monsters will invade the Lord Crystal with the goal of capturing your territory. They are not afraid of death, they only destroy buildings blocking the road, and only attack enemies blocking the road. The monster wave is divided into 10 waves. If you successfully kill all the monsters in each wave, you can unlock the next wave of monsters. Completing the 10th wave of monsters means the defense is successful and you gain official Lord status. After the 10 waves of monsters are over, you can choose to continue challenging the monster waves, which is the challenge mode. Starting from the 11th wave, each wave of monsters has a time limit of 30 minutes. Defeat this wave of monsters within 30 minutes to unlock the next wave of monsters. In challenge mode, giving up the challenge will not be regarded as a defense failure. In the end, rewards will be calculated based on the number of successfully defended monster waves. Close black lens bracket. Please note that if you are defeated, please open the Tiandao terminal and choose to give up to return to the original world. Once the Lord Crystal is breached, there will be no more opportunities. Close black lens bracket. If you give up in non-challenge mode, you will lose your status as a Lord. Close black lens bracket. Countdown to start of monster wave, 60. Countdown to the start of the monster wave, 59. Su Xiao looked solemn. There are rumors that the strength of the monster wave is determined based on the strength of the territory. People who have been eliminated from the endless world often say this. He didn't know whether it was true or false. If this is the case, then the wave of monsters he will face will be terrifying. After all, there are 2 myths in the territory. The endless gray fog of war surged up. 10 prairie wolves appeared in Su Xiao's field of vision together. They came running like lions and tigers, their eyes glowing bloodthirsty scarlet. They want to tear apart everything in their path and break through the light blue Lord Crystal. Suddenly, their figures stopped. He raised his head in confusion and looked at the majestic city wall. Ouch! Su Xiao. Su Xiao rubbed her temples. It seemed that the rumors were not credible at all. Those are just excuses that losers make for themselves. He said that he had developed too much and the monsters he encountered were stronger, so his defense failed. Obviously you only need to survive 10 waves of monsters to count as a successful defense. Even if you give up in challenge mode, it will be regarded as a successful defense. If it is harmful, one should not doubt the textbooks. Su Xiao casually fired a fireball, blasting the 10 prairie wolves into pieces. Brothers, I passed 10 waves of monsters, haha, I will be the lord of the endless world from now on. Alas, I only lasted until the 8th wave. As long as everything is fine. Let's go back to Blue Star and treat you to a meal. All the people are paying attention to this day. Today, some people are happy and some are worried. The sad one shuts himself up in his room and howls. Those who succeed look at the countless olive branches stretched out, and their spirits are high. Blue Star, Kyushu Kingdom, Qingzhou City. In a simple single-room supporting room, a little girl was lying on the windowsill, her eyes showing excitement and anticipation. Brother Su said that when he comes back, they will have endless glory and wealth. She was waiting for him to return in triumph. Creak. The sound of the door lock turning sounded, and the little girl's eyes lit up. She quickly turned around and ran over with excitement on her face. Brother, which way are you walking? I didn't even see you at the window. The little girl said as she opened the door. However, as soon as the door opened, the smile on her face froze. There were 3 men standing at the door, except her brother. Why is there a little girl? A man asked with a frown. I don't know about that, the other person replied with a frown. The only name on the property deed is Su Xiao. That's right, this girl is. The last person looked at the little girl doubtfully. The little girl became nervous and said, this is my home, and Su Xiao is my brother. If you want to find him, please come back later. After hearing this, the 3 of them looked at each other. This girl hasn't settled down yet. Hurry, get her out. Xiang Yan looked extremely impatient. As he spoke, he grabbed the little girl and tried to push her out. You can't drive me away. This is my home. Su Xiao is my brother. Help, catch the bad guys. The little girl shouted so smartly that the whole corridor could hear her. However, to her disappointment, a neighbor opened the door and took a look, then shook his head and closed the door. It doesn't matter whether your brother is Su Xiao or not. This house doesn't belong to Su Xiao anymore, get out of here. Don't delay my house inspection. Xiang Yan pushed the little girl out in disgust. What he usually hates the most is yelling children. At this time, his companion Kei Yucheng complained, Shang Yan, I have a child, you can't be gentle. Immediately, Kei Yucheng knelt down, looked at the little girl with tears in her eyes and said gently, Little sister, if you don't cry, what is your name? The little girl held her mouth and held her head in her head as she rushed toward the door. Shang Yan had quick eyes and quick hands and kicked him out. Kei Yucheng, come in quickly and close the door. With a bang, the door closed. Open the door, open the door. This is my home. There are things belonging to me and brother Su Xiao. Woo. The little girl finally couldn't help it and cried loudly. The voice sounded like tears and sadness. At this time, a door in the corridor opened, and an old woman sighed, My dear, go away quickly, you can't afford to offend them. This is my home, the home of me and brother Su Xiao, I won't leave. The little girl sobbed, This is your little brother Su's home, but where is your little brother Su? The old woman asked again. Brother Su has become a lord and will be back today. Tears flowed out one by one, and the little girl sniffed. Today is the day when the new lord's monsters attack the city. Alas, what's the point? He can't come back. The old woman sighed. Why can't you come back? Nonsense. The little girl rubbed her eyes to stop her tears. Because brother Su will feel uncomfortable when he sees her crying. At this time, if we had held our territory, we would have been back long ago. If I hadn't held on to my territory and given up, I would have come back long ago. He hasn't come back yet. It can only mean that he died in the endless world. Oh, every year there are some idiots who are unwilling to give up and watch their Lord Crystal explode. The old woman's eyes showed a hint of reminiscence and sadness. Impossible. My brother Su Xiao is a genius. The little girl yelled and ran away. She went to call the police, and she wanted to take back Su Xiao's brother's house. At the same time, Endless Continent. Congratulations, you have passed the 98th wave of monsters. Do you want to continue the challenge? Close black lens bracket. Continue. The 99th wave of monsters is coming, please be prepared. Close black lens bracket. Su Xiao stood on the city wall and smiled knowingly. After the monster wave is over, you can return to Blue Star. At that time, she had to take the little guy with her to celebrate and eat her favorite roast duck. In Blue Star, Su Xiao took in a little girl. Once, on that busy night in college, he had just traveled to this world. With a frail 8-year-old body, he crawled to the foot of a tree with difficulty just to take a bite of the bark. At that time, someone rescued him. So, when I saw the little girl squatting next to the trash can, gnawing on the moldy brow, Su Xiao extended a helping hand. He has enjoyed goodwill, so naturally he will not be stingy with his kindness. Old man, if you live for 2 more years, you can live the good life you dream of. Su Xiao raised her head and sighed. The old man who took him in has passed away. Even if he achieves success and fame, he will not be able to repay it. He could only pass on the old man's kindness to him to the little girl. But it seems, I used to have a serious emotional deficit, and I was a little cold towards her. I have been immersed in learning about the Lord, and I haven't taken her out to play often. This time when I go home, I must give her a surprise. Thinking of this, Su Xiao smiled happily. Have you heard? We have someone in Qingzhou who has cleared 27 waves of monsters. Damn, 27 waves, this can enter the top 10 in Qingzhou's historical records. Who is it? It seems to be called Qi Yun. Qi Yun, that Wanian second child from Qingzhou Middle School. My dear, I didn't expect that he would get such an opportunity in the endless world. My career as a lord is going to skyrocket. Wait a minute, the Wanian second child from Qingzhou Middle School is so strong, what about the number 1? Number 1, I remember number 1 was Su Xiao. Su Xiao, what wave has he hit? I heard he hasn't come back yet. Not back, seriously, it's already afternoon, the bodies must have been digested. Oh, every year there are always people who can't think about it. When it's time to give up, they don't know how to give up. It's a loss if this little life is lost. You don't know that many of those eliminated have committed suicide. Han Chuang has been studying hard for more than 10 years and cannot accept the fact that he cannot become a lord. Qingzhou, everyone is talking about this year's new lords. Today, the new lord will be the protagonist of the world. Ordinary people in Blue Star, who are not lords, do not have a Tiandao terminal, and cannot log into the virtual network world of the heavens. Therefore, it is impossible to contact the Lord of the Endless World. But once the Lord comes back and uses his cell phone, the message spreads. Qingzhou, Kishan Restaurant. As the largest restaurant in Qingzhou, it has been booked by the new lords today. Preparations have been made all afternoon for a night-long banquet. Brother Yun. Zhao Shang ran to Qi Yun's side. Qi Yun frowned slightly. Zhao Shang came to his senses and immediately changed his words and said, Alliance leader, according to your instructions, the news that you have conquered 27 waves of monsters has been released. After hearing this, Qi Yun nodded and said humbly, I only beat the 27th wave, but did not clear the 27th wave. Strictly speaking, I passed the 26th level. It's harmful. This is how people calculate. Everyone chooses the higher one. It's okay. Zhao Shang was all smiles. I heard that Su Xiao hasn't come back yet. Qi Yun asked. Yes, Alliance leader. Zhao Shang replied. Hearing this, Qi Yun looked extremely disappointed. In this world, who does he most want to see his achievements? Not the world, nor his parents, but Su Xiao. It's a pity that Su Xiao suffered from mental illness and died on the battlefield of all realms. Yes, mental illness. In Qi Yun's view, give up the initial unit building at the beginning. As a result, the monster wave came and he didn't know how to give up, so he died on the battlefield of all realms. This is no longer something that can be explained by stupidity. Only the word, neurosis, can explain it. Qi Yun knows Su Xiao very well. He knows that Su Xiao was a mental patient a long time ago and only recovered in recent years. Leader, when Blue Star's new level rankings are announced tomorrow, your name will be heard all over the world. Zhao Shang noticed that Qi Yun looked a little disappointed and immediately flattered him. That's natural. Qi Yun nodded. His level has been raised to level 15, which is higher than he expected. This is more than enough to make it onto the global ranking list. In previous years, it would have ranked first in the world. It would be great if it can be opened soon. I can't wait to see the Alliance leader become famous. Zhao Shang looked happy. Blue Star wants to apply for level data from Endless World. How can it be so fast? Qi Yun shook his head dumbly, then turned around to greet a big shot who walked into Qi Yun restaurant. That man was one of the top 10 lords in Qingzhou, a well-known big shot. Today I specially came back from the Endless World to attend Qi Yun's banquet. Zhao Shang looked at Qi Yun, and somehow he felt that Qi Yun's back was a little lonely. Without Su Xiao, Qi Yun's fighting spirit seems to have dropped. Is this the loneliness of a master? Zhao Shang shook his head helplessly. Su Shen, are you really dead? On the street, Long Chao Chao walked nervously towards Su Xiao's house. Su Xiao didn't answer the call, and there was no response to the terminal message. It's so late and he hasn't come back yet. He looks like he's really dead. Seven-eyed demon, six-winged fallen angel, extremely fire phoenix, ghost empress, undead bone emperor, 9 netherworld demon queen. The sky is full of gods and demons, watching with eager eyes. In the monster wave, flying units are the most troublesome for the Lord. But now, this is no longer as simple as a flying unit. When strength reaches a certain level, flying is just about getting rid of gravity. At this time, the sky-reaching city wall has become a decoration. Su Xiao stands in the sky. Her silver hair danced in the wind, and her 12 wings trembled slightly. He holds a long sword transformed into angelic light. He raised his head, full of fighting spirit. Mildy, Alicia, Sylphie. The battle will be resolved within 30 minutes. Yes, Lord. At this time, Su Xiao, as well as his mythical angels, eternal elves, and 10 elven marksmen. The level is already 30. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.